Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Lovely Digest here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be recording a couple of podcasts which you will see coming out here on YouTube over the next few weeks. If you're more of a listener, you want to listen on the go in the car, you can listen here, or you can go to the podcast which is available on all of the main platforms that you find your podcasts. I have pretty much decided that I'm going to just be recording visually all of my podcasts here on YouTube now because I just find that as a visual learner it's so nice to be able to go and listen to things and put them on in the background when I'm working. And I've also recently learned that a lot of podcast listeners like to watch the YouTube simultaneously, so that's really good information. Going forward, I'm going to try to record as many videos here as I can, but without further ado, let's dive right in. So first off, I ordered microphones for recording the podcast, but they are of course not arriving until tonight, and I wanted to record April today because that's when I had the most time and I knew I'd be the most relaxed and could have time to actually get ready and look presentable. In my last recording that I made, I just looked not great. My hair was not good. So I just wanted to take a little bit of extra time to look nice for the YouTube video today. But today I really want to talk about biohacking. Biohacking is one of my favorite things to talk about, favorite things to learn about. Ever since getting diagnosed with Crohn's, it's just been something that I really enjoyed learning about, specifically biohacking for women in chronic illness. So if you're interested in that and want to learn more, today is going to be mostly about the basics and just kind of the definition of biohacking and what it's about if you don't know anything about it. So if you want to learn more or want me to dive into specific topics that I touch on here today, leave a comment down below. If you're on YouTube, or send me a DM on Instagram at lovelydigest or via email lovelydigest@gmail.com. All links will be below or in the show notes wherever you are listening to this. Today I want to cover the basics, like I said, and what biohacking is. It's a relatively new and trendy concept that covers different wellness practices. It's actually kind of cool. When I googled it to get a good definition to talk about, this Google statistic showed up about how it was not researched at all until 2019-2020. So it's definitely something that popped up around the pandemic, probably when people were searching for ways to stay healthy, creating this health revolution. I witnessed this health revolution and was a part of it myself. I was diagnosed with Crohn's the same month the pandemic was declared and went on my own unique pandemic experience journey that led me to joining a health coaching training in an effort to change the way I was living and support my well-being holistically. In this training, I was first introduced to the concept of biohacking and how I could improve the outcome of my genetics and use various health practices to influence epigenetics, or the study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of genetic code itself. Some of the different basic biohacking methods are massage, red light therapy, infrared sauna, and cold plunge. Other ways to biohack employ the use of studying the circadian and or infradian rhythms, if that applies to you, the sun and moon, and nature, which I want to dive in a little bit. We all have different bodily rhythms. Universally, we have how the Earth's rotation and how our solar system impacts us. The moon impacts us, and the tides, and there's a study that was done in 2006 that explores how the lunar cycle can impact our sleep and reproductive cycles, as well as crime rates and hospital admittances, which is just something that's really fascinating. Throughout our yearly calendar, we have different seasons. Wherever you live changes how those seasons impact you, obviously. Here in New England, going 1 hour north can drastically change the weather around you, so that's really cool, but I know in other places the weather doesn't change very much. And then we have more gendered rhythms, which FYI, I'm still learning how to speak and change my language around this area, so please forgive me if I make any ignorant statements, and please feel free to correct me. But there's also gendered rhythms that impact us. Those who experience menstruation are very familiar with this additional cycle in our lives. Those who don't will sometimes pick up on these cycles because of hormones and have their own hormonal response if they're cohabitating with someone with a menstrual cycle or around someone a lot with a menstrual cycle. There are 4 phases of the menstrual cycle that are being explored more and more every day, thank goodness. And then you have genetics. You may have heard one of my favorite phrases, your genetics load the gun, but your habits and lifestyle pull the trigger. How much you love your life, what you eat, how you exercise, your community can all impact what genes present going forward in life. An example could be me getting Crohn's. No one in my family has Crohn's, but clearly I have the gene for it because I got it. No one, as I said, has it though, so it was probably like really buried. I don't know what the scientific term for that would be, but I lost someone very close to me as a young adult and dealt with a lot of grief. My habits during those years and coping mechanisms for anxiety and depression primed that gene for Crohn's for sure. I have no doubt about that. And then when I got food poisoning, it just made sense that my body couldn't recover. But it's just really interesting to see how my choices in life kind of led to me getting Crohn's. And I'm not saying that that's the case for everyone, but our choices do impact how, and our mental health impacts what genes express in our bodies. Biohacking, in essence, is a way of approaching and integrating wellness practices into your life to influence your health and genetics. I love the idea of using the seasons, lunar and menstrual cycles to map out my routines, something I've been working on lately by designing my own journal. What biohacking has taught me is to not compare myself to others. While it's spring here on the east coast of the US, those in Australia are settling in for winter and slowing down, especially since we're becoming more and more digital these days, something I've noticed as an online business owner with my coaches and clients who live across the world. It's easy to compare and put yourself down for not doing as much as someone else, but they're probably just going through a different season of life or a season of productivity and flow, which probably has something to do with their rhythms at that point in time. Tomorrow they might have to take the day off and not get anything done, so it's not productive to spend time comparing. Your assignment today is to take a look at how these different cycles impact your life. Do you feel you sleep better around the full moon or less? If you experience menstruation, how does that make you feel? Get familiar with and start noticing these patterns in your life. Use this as an impetus for having more self-compassion and take time to slow down when your body is asking you to, even if you don't have a concrete reason why. Things just happen in our bodies that tell us that we need to slow down even if it doesn't make sense. So it's always great to really listen to those. This will help you cultivate your instincts and your gut reactions and instincts. So with that, I hope you have a great week. Again, let me know below if you want to hear more about a specific topic and how I incorporate biohacking into my life. But otherwise, I hope you have a great week and we will talk soon.